The search is continuing for 15 missing people suspected to have been swept away by flash floods in the Jukskei River in Johannesburg. 2 other people drowned during the church ritual. Our senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is covering the story for us and joins us now live. Aviwe, very important work being done by the search and rescue team, I'm sure, but that fueled by the emotion of these people who seemingly have lost loved ones during a very spiritual and emotional moment.
It is a very emotional moment, especially for the family members. We're just outside the Sandton fire station here, where the families are actually being addressed by one of the chiefs here. This lady just told them that they can't give them specifics at this time on what they found, but we do know, in fact, Marcel, that we are told not to go inside the station as there are bodies that have been discovered. Remember, there are 15 that were missing in the early hours of the morning, but according to what we hear, that there are bodies that have been discovered. 2 have passed away from the earlier reports, but I'm sure now that number is going to go up. In fact, we have Robert Mlaudzi from the emergency, EMS, the spokesperson there. I'm going to ask my colleague Noko Molati just to come a bit closer. Beg your pardon for the shaky visuals, but of course we are going to want to get that conversation from Robert Mlaudzi. Nomkhulu, what's the latest?
Thank you very much, colleagues, for coming in. What happened last night was that around 5 we were called along Jukskei River stream in Bramley Park, which is a park just off-ramp, when you off-ramp around College Drive. So it was a group of 33 congregants who were conducting a church ritual at the time. Unfortunately, there was a storm which came through while they were busy conducting that ritual. And in the process, there were 2 people who were swept away, who were confirmed dead on scene last night. And then there was a lady who was rescued also last night. And then the lady received medical care, and then the lady was transported to a local nearby healthcare facility for further medical care. So we continued with the search because we were told that there were about 15 people who were unaccounted for out of the 33 people which were initially in that space. So we continue with the search up until 10 in the evening. Due to a lack of visibility and also the risk of our rescue workers, we had to stop our search at around 10 in the evening last night. So we came back this morning at around 9. We're already on site again from where the incident was reported last night at College Drive. So we continue with the search from that area up until Greystone Drive. In between that area, we managed to recover about 7 bodies, which we can confirm today that from the morning up until now, as we speak, we have got 7 bodies. So you add with the 2 which we recovered yesterday, so it becomes 9 bodies. So we will be searching along the stream throughout the day today. So we should be able to give you another maybe a feedback later on this afternoon as to where we stand. So for now, we have got we managed to recover 7 bodies plus the 2 of yesterday. It makes them 9 bodies.
Okay, just to get an accurate update. So currently there are still 8 more missing from the 15 that you initially had missing. And how many teams do you have just spread out across the Jukskei River?
Yeah, so what happens is we divided. We've got teams from the city of Johannesburg Emergency Services Aquatic Rescue Unit. We've got teams from SASRA. We've got teams from Gauteng EMS. We've got teams from the South African Police Service Search and Rescue Unit. So we divided the stream into like 3 teams along the stream, with the aim of making sure that where the other group left of the other group will take over, so that we can actually sweep along the river stream. So in the morning, before we started with our operation, we went back to the initial location where the incident occurred last night. We interviewed the family members because we had a list from last night which was 15 people. Then we initially again this morning we went in there to interview some of the family members who were there. so that we can get another list. So that list, we managed to compare it. So it was more or less the same list of the people, number of people who were missing. So if you look at the list which we have, it was about 15 people. So out of the 15 people, we remove the 7 which we have managed to recover by now as we speak. So we'll be left with the other about 8 people who we still have to look for. So we can safely say that maybe throughout the day today we might be able to locate the other 8 people who are alleged to be missing. Of course, we did manage to try and activate the local pastor or the leader, the person who was leading the ritual itself, so that we can be able to get maybe the contact numbers of the other people who might have left the scene when the storm was in progress. So I will say that's where we are now at this stage.
Robert, do we firstly have any clarity on whether you've been in touch with the families who have been affected? And then also just speaking to the importance of having safety in areas such as this one, where we are seeing floods happening at every summer, that we normally have seen incidents such as this one.
Yes, the only chance we got to speak to the families was when we were organizing the list, doing again the initial list which we had earlier on in the morning at around 8. In terms of the situation where we find ourselves in, we know that we have been receiving a lot of rain throughout the city of Johannesburg in the last 3 months. Most of the river streams are now full. Our residents will be, especially maybe the congregants who normally practice this kind of rituals, will be tempted to go to these river streams. So our message is to say they need to exercise caution as and when they conduct these rituals. South Africa is a democratic country. We can't tell them what to do. They've got a right to exercise their ritual, their beliefs, but they need to do it in a safe way so that we can prevent this kind of loss of life. As a fire service, we have had a number of initiation programs which we conducted through our public education unit to educate most of the congregants, which we know that they normally practice this kind of ritual, to say these are some of the safety measures which they can take to make sure that we prevent this very unfortunate incident which we have witnessed last night.
And just on terms of the current itself, how far are you finding these bodies away from that point? We understand it happened near Colette Drive. How far away are you finding the bodies? And we're seeing a lot of these rituals still continuing today. What would you say then to the congregants?
Yeah, most of the bodies, of course, which were recovered, we're recovering them away from the stream itself, because of the current of the water which was flowing by then when we had the storm. And of course, from our side, we are concerned. We feel that maybe through our public education program, we need to intensify our public education efforts to, educate our communities out there about the dangers of them, conducting these rituals in such dangerous places. As a fire service, we have actually taken a strategy to say prevention is the future. Our residents will be seeing a lot of us out there, educating them about the dangers of conducting this kind of rituals, maybe not only in terms of water-related emergencies, be it fire or medical emergencies. We'll make sure that our residents are, empowered with the necessary skills to deal with emergencies like this one.
All right. Thank you very much. Robert Mlaudzi from the EMS, of course, outside the fire station here, confirming that 7 more bodies are actually inside here. There's still 8 missing here. I don't know if we can actually come a bit closer, my colleague Noko Malaji, just to gauge how these family members are doing. It's a difficult time for them. Maybe just a quick one. Aviwe from eNCA. Ninjani, nisakangalo umdu wenu nikangala banwa.
I'm fine. Can't talk now.
Can't talk now. But maybe a word from your side. Are you looking for someone specific? How are you doing?
Yeah, we are okay. We are looking for a family member. We are here since yesterday night. We didn't sleep. 7 we're here. Yeah, so we are hoping for the best, should I say so. Because it's not easy. It's difficult for the family. Even back home, it's difficult for us here. It's been a lengthy process, I must be honest. And I must be honest with how the process has been. We've been going back and forth up until we're here. We went to the scene yesterday night. We left at around 2 a.m. in the morning. So it was just difficult, just to get information. I'm happy that you guys are here because now you guys are giving a full brief which we didn't get, but it's okay. We waited and waited. We are still waiting to get the outcome of the search, the news, so that we can move on from this process.
What is the chief of the fire station saying to you? Because I saw she was briefing the family members here. What did she give you much insight?
No. In fact, she kept going on and on about not knowing what is happening. We should be patient. That they will come and address us. We should not try and go and interfere there inside. So the message is loud and clear. But now there's a lot of frustration that is starting to peak. We've been waiting since morning. We're just hoping to get an outcome because we're traveling from Mafikeng to get here. You can imagine traveling at night to be here, spending the whole night without sleep at the scene. Now we are here. We just want closure, if there is any positive news, if there are any, so that we can move on from this process, heal, go back to Mafikeng and do what is supposed to be done.
All right, thank you very much, and I'm sorry about this drawn-out process. I'm hoping that you'll get good news at the end of it all. Of course, some of the family members outside the Sandton fire station, as they were briefed moments ago by the chief inspector. They say that in fact they haven't got much details, but in fact we've just been addressed by Robert Mlawudzi, who did confirm that from the 2 deceased bodies that they got yesterday when this water was sweeping through, there has been an additional 7 bodies that have been recovered, and they're still searching for at least 8 people that were missing following that strong current that swept about 33 congregants as they were doing their rituals at the Jukskei River just outside Colette and the M1 there at around 4:30 yesterday.